Hi guys, I am so excited to welcome to the Cosmopolitan.com studio Grace Helbig. She has a brand new book out. It's called Grace's Guide, The Art of Pretending to be a Grown-Up, which I feel like is pretty much the story of my life.
Yeah, I think it's the story of a lot of people's lives, I've realized.
Do you feel like you're still pretending to be a grown-up?
Always. I feel like I am still a 14-year-old just that got bigged into a 29-year-old woman.
What childish things are you obsessed with?
I'm obsessed with snacks. I love snacks, but I think that
Are those childish?
Well, I'm obsessed with like Gushers and Funfetti cake and like very obviously childish snacks. And I also just like being silly and carefree, I guess. The carefreeness that a child has when it's not affected by the world is like such a goal to strive towards.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I feel like a lot of that really comes across in your channel. So now you are, I think, one of the most popular people on YouTube.
Thank you.
You have 1 million plus subscribers.
I think it's 1.9, almost 2 million right
Almost
now.
2 million, wow.
Yeah.
So you're growing really quickly on YouTube. How do you grow on that platform?
It's an interesting and hard and also fun process to try and create a YouTube presence, or for the sake of it, any sort of digital presence. It's all about brand building. And when I first started making web videos, I didn't even realize that that could be my job. I was going on auditions for TV and film and doing improv comedy here in New York and thought that that was the road to success for me. And these internet videos that I was making was this fun little outlet that was just for me at the end of the day. And eventually, through a series of working with a company called MyDamnChannel.com, it became my full-time job, making daily videos for them under a series called Daily Grace. And that to me was my survival job while I still auditioned. It kept me from working at the restaurant that I was working at on 53rd in Lexington, and I got to work from home, and being naturally an introvert, this was the greatest
You're
thing.
naturally an introvert?
Yeah, and I've learned this because I used to think that being an introvert was bad and that I should be really outgoing, and I wish I could be like the life of the party, and that's just not me. And I realized that an introvert isn't not social, they just being very social, it depletes their energy, whereas someone who's an extrovert gains energy from being around people. So naturally, I gained energy when I was by myself and got to be creative and do whatever I want and felt like no one is here to judge or look at me or whatever it is. And so I was working for MyDamnChannel.com, and then when I started realizing about the YouTube community and talking to the other content creators in the community, I realized that it was, in fact, it's a platform, the same way that television and film are media platforms. And I realized that I loved doing what I was doing and that I started to see myself for what I was online. I saw my brand, I saw my voice. I started to figure out what my perspective on the world is, because that's essentially what a brand is, or essentially what any sort of comedic sensibility is, just based on your point of view in the world. Mm-hmm. And
how do you sum up your point of view on the world in a sentence?
The world is ridiculous, so all we can try and do is have fun. I mean, there's so many things out of your control in the world, and there's so many ridiculous events and occurrences that are constantly happening that all you can do is try and laugh at it. And once I realized that like life is worth laughing at, that's when things started to be like more free and fun and exciting. And then on YouTube and online, you can see exactly who is commenting on your videos, who's following you on Twitter, who is posting things about you on Tumblr. And once I realized that it was this certain demographic, it was for the majority, you know, millennial females, you know, ages anywhere from 13 to 30, I started to realize like, oh, what my relationship was to them. And I say, it's Grace is your awkward older sister that doesn't know how to do everything, but's trying to learn with you and help you out.
I feel like people see you as their best friend on YouTube.
Yeah, I mean, YouTube, it's an inherently intimate medium. You're talking directly to an audience. I'm in my own home. I'm answering their questions, you know, personally. There's a conversation. It's not just a television show. So there is an intimacy that it feels like a friendship when you talk to people. Like, these are my buddies that I hang out with.
So what was the moment like when you realized, hey, I can make money off of YouTube and this can be my job?
The real opportunity in YouTube is owning your own content and being your own boss and building your own brand. And so at the beginning of this year, I stepped away from my Dem channel and from Daily Grace and created It's Grace on my first YouTube channel, Grace H in a Box. And now I finally feel this year like a personal renaissance of feeling like a real member of the community rather than like a billboard for another company secretly without being able to tell anyone.
Right. I didn't realize you only had your own channel from the beginning of this year.
Yeah,
and in a short period of time, you've really grown it.
I left when Daily Grace had 2.2 million subscribers and was growing. So the scariest thing was hoping that the audience was watching Daily Grace for Grace Helbig and not watching Daily Grace because it's part of a company, and that they would come over to the new channel because Grace Helbig was moving over to the new channel, and they did. And you know, in the first month, it passed 1 million subscribers.
What advice would you have for somebody who sees you, sees what you do, and dreams of doing what you do one day?
Just do it. Find something that makes you really happy doing and that you have a really great time doing. Give yourself time and just do it. Just try it. And if it doesn't work for you, try something else. Just keep trying things until something sticks. And always check in with yourself and make sure, am I having fun? Am I doing this because I want to do it, or am I doing this because I think this will make me popular? Because if you're doing something to be popular, or you're doing something to get X number of subscribers, why? You only live once. Like, just try and enjoy something.
Right. You have to have a message actually to put out there, or people will be able to see through that.
Yeah, and you don't have to do anything that's popular. If you like, you know, basket making and sharks, like make shark baskets. You know, people out there that enjoy that will appreciate it.
I would totally watch the Shark Basket show.
Yeah, look for it on Etsy or Pinterest somewhere.